Yeah, this is an exciting conversation, and public art can be really important, and it transforms space in good and bad ways. And there's a lot of history that you can see, and I guess I'm a little skeptical sometimes of public art projects that don't actually have a goal of what they're trying to do with the space in a positive way, because it can end up having exactly the effect that Susan kind of warned against, that it ends up being a gentrifying process that raises rents and pushes out the racial and economic diversity and pushes out artists in the process. And so we have to be very careful, I think, about how we think about this project and what we want it to do. I actually think that the goal of preserving Northeast as an art space is an incredibly important thing, and something that we might be able to do better. I'm wondering why the Central Avenue corridor as opposed to a path that actually moved between all these art spaces. If we want to preserve that space and actually create an art walk, is thinking through different space and different locations that actually related more to the arts community as opposed to a sort of business corridor might actually meet that goal more for the community. Can people speak to why Central Avenue?
For example, like the bike walk, for instance, if you put something on that way, people might be taking their time to stroll and walk.
Well, when you
more than Central?
Yeah, when you build things, you're making monuments, right? You're putting something up, and sometimes that can preserve public space in a really positive way. There's great examples of that in parks and town squares and that kind of thing. And if we did actually build a path that actually moved between these spaces, that was oriented around art and pointing to art and that moved people through those art spaces, that could sort of monumentalize the arts community here in a way that's a little different from just building along a street.
If I could speak to that, I think this is just central because this is the Central Avenue plan. That's kind of where we started the discussion today. But this connects to other areas in Northeast, and there's a lot of positive work going on in the 13th. And if I understand correctly, this plan is supposed to connect to those things and bring people through the district and the other commercial nodes within the district and throughout Northeast as well. Does that answer your question?
Come next Thursday to that.
Yeah.
I think I could echo that it was because it was the Central Avenue planning process, and I think that there was some thought that if the arts components could be strengthened throughout the Central Avenue plan, that then the Central Avenue could become really part of this arts district where it had to get it done.
And by making this more vibrant, it's going to in turn help things that we can do too. Well, I want to.
I'm sorry. Just to touch on some of the things that you guys were saying, my biggest thing when I opened up the clothing store was to help people who couldn't afford it. And Serena Williams, everybody knows she is. She started this clothing line called Art Nouveau, and all the shirts are hand painted by artists that they select. It's kind of expensive. I've been talking with them, trying to negotiate and kind of bring the price down, but a lot of things that you guys are touching on, what I like of bringing things to the community, but what is the plan to bring the kids to show them the appreciation of art? When we was younger, I say this, but when we was younger, we had art classes that taught us everything about art and where kids can express how they feel in art. If you go to a psychologist, the first thing they do is give a kid a crayon and a pencil and say, draw and express how you feel. So what are we doing? What is our community doing to express what these kids need to learn about art, to appreciate it more? Not just the graffiti art that they're writing, but the appreciate art. So the plan that you said that maybe we should have it in stores. Maybe we should go to every store in the community and say, display this art. So when they see it more, then they'll understand it and appreciate it more. But we have to teach. And with Art Nouveau, I could probably talk to Serena Williams to come and even speak on it. And even if anyone wanted to know more information about Art Nouveau, I have some information where they can see what the artist's actually doing with their clothing line. Just something that I'm kind of concerned about is, yes, it's nice to have the place. You can have a place, she's from St. Michael, so you can have a place here in Minneapolis, but how will St. Michael know about the art on Central? So what is the plan that's in place on, you have the location, you have the ideas, but how are you reaching out to the kids who don't know?
I don't know if Geneva has any, I don't actually know what Geneva's focus on art education is, but it seems to me like any part of figuring out how we're going to create an art trail on Central and connect it to adult artists or working with community cast would reasonably include also how we're going to teach our community to appreciate, have, and understand the art that we're, installing. So, I don't think those questions have an answer, and I don't think that plan exists, but it's a really important thing to keep in mind for people who have energy for making it happen.
The Arts Action Plan speaks about it, important, especially if we're losing money for arts funding. The Arts Action Plan talks about getting the local artists engaged with the schools. And you have some of that going on. You have gallery spaces that are doing kid-centered activities, and I don't think we touched on that today, but I do think we have some of that going on.
There's also great programs in the public parks from the MIA. So I really want to thank our guests for being here today. Thank